welcome back everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful day today. We're reading some more terrifying but also fun Reddit stories today, and I hope you're excited. Been having so much fun making episodes lately, and I hope you guys have been enjoying them too. Every day it's an adventure, and I'm sure today's going to be no different. And let's get into it. Enjoy, guys. The first one that we're going to read today is on the relationship subreddit. My wife, 30 female, admitted to a drunken one-night stand last weekend, and it's turned me, 32 male, into a robot. Oh no. I, 32 male, have been married to my wife, Kate, 30 female, for 4 years, together for 9. Our relationship has been amazing, loving and supportive. We have good communication, hardly ever argue, and our bedroom life has gone from strength to strength over the years. We discussed cheating in the past, and I was always clear that we would be over if it ever happened. Kate went home to visit her family last weekend, which was normal. Before she left on Friday night, we had a minor argument about keeping the house tidy, so our communication was limited on Saturday, but I knew that she was going out to meet some friends at a bar. I trusted her 100%, so I didn't think anything of it. Before I fell asleep, I texted her saying that I hope she had a nice night. When I woke up on Sunday morning, I had a missed call from Kate at 4 a.m, so I immediately called her to check if she was okay, but no answer. After a few hours, I tried again a few times, but still no answer. Around an hour later, I got a message saying that she was fine and was driving back soon. Kate got home in the late afternoon and looked awful. She had clearly been crying, was not wearing any makeup, unusual for her, looking like a shell of a person. I knew right away something was wrong, but she wouldn't let me hug her and would barely speak. I sat her down on the couch and made her some tea. I gently encouraged her to tell me what was wrong, and she burst into uncontrollable tears for at least 10 minutes while I was trying to comfort her. She then proceeded to tell me, stopping every few words, that she had slept with somebody last night after the bar. At that moment, something in my brain broke. Oh, this is so sad. I'm so sorry, OP. I can't describe it in any other way. I immediately got up and I jumped in my car and I drove off. I went to a park and I walked around it for about an hour. Kate was calling my phone constantly and I turned it off. When I got home, I grabbed 2 suitcases from the garage and I went to our bedroom. I threw some of Kate's clothes and shoes into them and I left them by the front door. Kate was lying on the floor in the living room, curled up into a ball, sobbing. I called her best friend who lives nearby and I told her that Kate needed a place to stay and a ride to her place, and that Kate could explain everything to her later. I told Kate I was going to leave for an hour and that her friend was coming to pick her up. She grabbed onto my legs, trying to stop me from leaving. When I returned home again, Kate was gone, and so were the cases. On Monday, with a clearer head, I answered one of Kate's many calls, and I told her that I needed her to send me an email with as many details as possible of that night, and if she does leave anything out, there'll be no hope of reconciliation. I received this email on Monday night, but I still haven't opened it. Since then, everybody's been trying to contact me, but I've just been working, exercising, and sleeping. One of her friends turned up at my house with an attitude demanding an explanation. I told her to speak to Kate, and I closed the door in her face. I've also been speaking to divorce lawyers, and I have moved money into separate accounts, and I've blocked Kate and all of her friends on everything. Everything I've done since I found out seems like I've been on autopilot. I don't feel angry, upset, or overly emotional, just numb. Kate posted a note through the door yesterday asking me to meet tomorrow, but I'm conflicted. Should I meet her? Will it change anything? Is there any point in trying to reconcile? Is it normal to feel like a robot, and how do I snap out of this? Edit, I just want to add that when I came home the first time, Kate confirmed it was consensual. She was drunk, but she knew what she was doing. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. That's so sad. There is an update post here. After reading your comments, I decided to meet with Kate, but not to read the email. Kate came to the house yesterday, and when I opened the door, she looked terrible. She tried to hug me and started mumbling apologies, but I stopped her and we sat down to talk. I started by telling Kate that I'd be recording the audio of the conversation, and she agreed. I then asked her to explain what happened, and I told her that I haven't read the email she sent. Kate said that she'd been at the bar with 2 friends. I know, and I liked them both, and told me what she had to drink. I was surprised at how little she drank, because it was the same amount that we'd normally drink when going for dinner. A few glasses of wine and a cocktail. She admitted that she was only slightly tipsy. One of her friends, Sarah, has a younger brother, Max, 27 male, who came to pick them up around midnight. It's a running joke in their group that Max has had a major crush on Kate since high school, and I had heard them joke about this. The 4 of them went to get food, and Max then dropped each one off until it was just him and Kate. Kate said that she didn't want him to drive the 20 minutes to her parents' place after working all day. Oh, you're joking. So would just order an Uber from his apartment? Ew. She went into his apartment to order the Uber but couldn't get one. Max suggested that she should crash in his bed and he would take the sofa. He would then drop her off in the morning. Kate refused and continued to try to find an Uber. They were sitting on Max's bed and he kissed her. She kissed him back and they ended up having sex. She confirmed again that it was consensual. After that, she broke down crying from guilt and Max took her home. She cried for another hour and then tried to call me to tell me what she'd done. We had to stop a number of times because Kate kept on breaking down and crying hysterically. She told me it was a huge mistake. She got caught up in the moment. It was terrible and she only loves me, me, blah blah blah. After she was done, I told her that her story didn't make sense, but it didn't matter at this stage because I was done. This caused another breakdown. I told her I was going to continue with the divorce preparations, but for the next month we would be separated without any contact. I also told her that we would both remain faithful, would get a full STD panel, and she would tell her mutual friends and family what happened. If she sticks to these conditions, I would be willing to meet again to see if there was any other way forward other than divorce. She enthusiastically agreed to this, but made it clear that she did not expect me to stay faithful to her. I know many of you will criticize this decision, but I need to be sure that divorce is the right option after I've had time to process everything that's happened. I'm still 99% sure that's where we're heading, but I need to be 100% sure. Edit just to clarify, because many of you seem to be focusing on this point. I've had mutual friends and my wife's family send me nasty messages, turn up at my house, etc. because according to Kate, I kicked her out over an argument. My request was that Kate tells them it's because she has been unfaithful, not a full rundown of everything that happened. How disgusting. Ew. Oh, I didn't want him to drive 20 minutes after working all day, so I'm gonna go to his apartment and bang him. 20 minutes isn't a long drive. There's a comment that says cheating partners always offer a whole pass so that they can later say they aren't the only ones who did something wrong. Don't take her up on it. And OP said, I don't intend to lower myself to her level. Even if I wanted to, I can't see any woman wanting to jump in the sack with an emotionless husk. Oh, I'm so sorry, OP. You're better off without her, but it's so sad that you had such a long relationship together and everything seemed awesome. And the top comment too. So there's a running joke about this guy wanting to bang your wife. Then in the middle of the drive home, it's determined that 20 minutes is too far because he worked all day. Then the solution to that ends up with them sitting on his bed. The logic leaps for this to be believable are miles wide. Almost 100% the sequence of events didn't happen that way. And this comment too. Personally, I also don't believe her story that Max made a move on her and then they had sex. No faithful married woman is going to walk into a guy's bedroom sitting on the bed next to them. That part's BS. The fact that she still can't be honest with you after the discussion is a massive warning to you. Dude, the trust is gone. You'll never be able to have peace of mind when your wife goes out with her friends. It'll drive you crazy. Even considering giving her a second chance is already the wrong thought. Get that crap out of your head. I know it's a bad idea, but Max might give you a more truthful story if you can control your emotions, which is almost impossible. Anyway, stick to your divorce, and you did an amazing job taking control of the situation. Yeah, 1,000,000% definitely divorce, OP. Oh, that was revolting. I'm so sorry, OP. But yeah, you have handled it so well, OP, so good job for that. All the best in the future, OP. The next one that we're going to read is on Am I the A-hole? Am I the A-hole for shrugging when my dad's wife told me that they need all of dad's money right now? Sorry, I read that like a bit of a robot. All of dad's money right now. I, 17 male, might be the A-hole, and I might be a big one, but I wanted to get people's insight, so my dad left my mum when I was 14 to be with his wife, the woman that he was cheating on my mum with. My dad didn't want me to think badly of him, but I did. He knew I did, and he knew he couldn't change my mind easily. We always knew that my parents would end up with shared custody until I was 17 at least. From experience, the judges in family court will only stop enforcing shared custody when a kid turns 17 and speaks out. Any younger and they insist on 50-50. I also knew that my mum would struggle on her own because while she did work, she never made as much as my dad. She also wouldn't get child support because of the 50-50, and it wasn't ordered even with the difference in income. So when dad pleaded with me to give him a chance to show that he could still be a good dad, and he said that he'd do anything for me, I told him to keep supporting mum and make sure that she wasn't going to end up struggling while he got off easy. I told him she deserved that at least after what he did, and that I deserved to see my mum doing well. My dad agreed, and he paid it as child support instead of spousal support or whatever it's called. It really did help mum, and she actually went back to school so she could get a better job. Dad is still paying that money. He knows I appreciate him doing it, and he also knows it's one of the only reasons I didn't just decide to say F him and never have a relationship with him again. My mum is also less stressed out. She has mixed feelings about my dad giving her money when legally he doesn't need to, but she also knows this is the only way for me not to feel the need to help support her. This is where my dad's wife comes into this. She never liked that my dad paid this child support. She never liked that I insisted on it for my dad and I to have a relationship, but now my dad's house is struggling a bit and some changes needed to be made. His wife, son and daughter were in dance, football, softball, karate, music lessons and an art class, all as paid extracurriculars. My dad and his wife also have a baby together. The wife's kids had to cut 2 activities because they can't afford it anymore. It pisses his wife off because if dad wasn't paying the money, they could still afford those things. She told me that I should stop obligating my dad to support mum because they need it more and my mum isn't their problem. I told her she and her kids are not my problem. She told me they're my family while mum is not her or her kids' family or my dad's anymore. I told her she and her kids are dad's family but they're not mine. She told me they need all of dad's money right now before more things need to be cut back on. I shrugged in response. She told me that I was so callously flippant and it wasn't a good look to care so little about my siblings' lives. Only one of her kids, the baby, is technically my half-sibling. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. The money that your dad is giving to your mum is none of her business. How bloody ridiculous. Yeah, the top comment, not the a-hole. The hell did she expect? Sleeping with a married man? She can get a second job if money's a problem. Editor adds, silly me, assuming that she had a job other than home wrecker. Yeah, how frustrating. Oh, we need all of your dad's money. Get the hell out of here. OP commented she expected it to be like a lot of times where that happens when the man just doesn't give a damn about the hurt that he caused and does no damage control and takes care of her and her people instead. She didn't expect dad to be so bothered by me losing respect for him with his affair and leaving mum like he did. Yeah, and the comment under that one, yes, to be a bad parent to your biological child and raise my children as though they've always been your responsibility. Line of logic. Sadly, it happens. I'm glad that's not the case here. There's a comment that says, I still don't understand why your dad should pay for her kids having too many expensive hobbies. Don't they have a father? And OP said, I never hear about their fathers. And it's pretty clear they have two different fathers. She expects dad to pay and help for that stuff because he married her and took on her two kids. Yeah, well, mess around and find out. Yeah, this comment, absolutely not the a-hole. Dad didn't have to agree to pay your mum to buy your acceptance, and stepmom should have spoke up then if it was a problem. She probably did, but didn't push it so dad's conscience could be eased. Stepmom is just paying the price for cheating with a married man, and dad's suffering for his part too. Karma's a biatch. Yeah, and also this comment, not the a-hole. I told her she and her kids are not my problem. You're right, they aren't. The financial arrangements that your dad has with you and your mum are none of her business whatsoever. She chose to have a baby knowing that he already had existing obligations, and she can butt out. I'm glad that your dad is doing the right thing by you. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for calling off the wedding since my fiance doesn't want to agree to a prenup? Okay, so I proposed to my fiance about 2 months ago, and we've recently started to plan the wedding. I told her I'd wanted to create a prenup to protect my premarital assets and the assets and capital that I'd receive from my inheritance. Some context, my parents are wealthy, and upon their death I'd receive an inheritance in the low to mid 8 figures, so in the tens of millions. So when I brought this up with her, she flat out refused and got defensive. I tried to explain that I wasn't about to risk the generational wealth that my parents and my grandparents worked away for on a coin toss, and that this was something that was absolutely mandatory for me. She claimed that I was trying to start the marriage with one foot out the door. So I told her until we came to an agreement, this marriage was off the table, and I wasn't changing my mind on this. So am I the a-hole? Okay, so I feel like there needs to be a lot more information here. I don't like how you said the marriage was going to be a coin toss. Like, is the issue really the prenup, or is it the way that you worded it? Like the bit where you said the marriage is a coin toss. Like, I feel like if your partner said that your marriage was going to be a coin toss, that's pretty hurtful. Yeah, this comment referring to your upcoming marriage as a coin toss was probably not received terribly well. Yeah, like, of course you're not the a-hole for wanting to protect the inheritance, OP, but it doesn't sound like you went about this the right way or like worded it the right way. Does your partner feel entitled to some of the inheritance? I'll try and find some comments from OP, but there are so many unanswered questions here. Somebody commented, why get married if that's all it means to you? And OP said, let's put it like this. While I don't hold a special significance to the act of marriage, but I do want to spend the rest of my life with this person, and marriage is something they want to do, so I'll do it even if it's not something that I see particular importance to. The comment under that one says, you should definitely break things off with this person. They want the commitment and stability of marriage for a lifetime, and you don't even fundamentally understand what that means. You're not compatible in that way, nor do you want the same things. You're just hurting her by staying with her. This comment too. I'd be hurt if my boyfriend called our relationship a coin toss. Yeah, that was definitely not the best way to word that. There are comments here like this one. Not the a-hole given the assets that you're seeking to protect. Your fiance contributed nothing to your premarital assets and wouldn't be entitled to inheritance upon divorce as long as you didn't commingle them with family assets. If your fiance thinks she's entitled to your inheritance or premarital assets, she's a gold digger. And this one too, not the a-hole, but this is 100% something you should have talked about prior to proposing. You just kind of shot yourself in the foot by waiting. And this one, on a coin toss. Yeah, no wonder she's upset. You're the a-hole for that, not for having a non-negotiable for marriage. Yeah, you definitely shouldn't have referred to your relationship as a coin toss. Of course you want to protect the inheritance, but yeah, I don't know, there's so much missing information here. Like, it doesn't even actually say that the fiance is even upset about the prenup itself. When the fiance said she claiming that I was trying to start the marriage with one foot out the door, that could have been referring to OP calling the marriage a coin toss. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole for asking for the prenup, but you the a-hole for referring to your marriage as a coin toss. If my fiance made it that obvious that he had zero faith in our relationship, I'd be out the door before he even finished his sentence. The next one's called, am I the a-hole for ghosting my girlfriend after she nearly killed both of us? So my girlfriend, 20 female, and I, 22 male, have been together for a little over 10 months. We haven't had any heated arguments or fights, except for the fact that she keeps tickling me randomly despite the fact that I've repeatedly told her to never do it again because I can act strangely about it, something from my childhood which I won't delve into. Now to get into the current situation, this week I've had my car returned from a paint job and some major look changes, and I was really satisfied with the results, so I took a day day off from work and I took my girlfriend on a short trip outside the city. We drove to a lake, ate some food, and relaxed for a couple of hours until it got pretty dark and we decided to head back home to get some sleep, as I had to get up and go to work the next day, and she had an exam. On the way home, I started talking about how happy I felt with how the paint job turned out, and out of nowhere, she starts tickling me. I pushed her hand away and I told her to stop. Then she started reaching for my ribs with both hands on me, and that got me swerving off the road. Thankfully, nobody was hurt, although my car got some deep scratches, but that doesn't even matter anymore, as I already slowed down after her first attempt to tickle me. I'll admit, I told her, "What the F is wrong with you?" as soon as we stepped out of the car, and she started crying. But I couldn't have cared less, as I felt as if my veins were about to pop. When we got home, I told her to pack her things and to go to her best friend, but she threw a tantrum and begged me to forgive her for a little mistake. I didn't say a word, I simply stared in disgust and I pointed to her luggage. After her friend picked her up, I tried to go to sleep, but my mind was racing, so I barely got any rest. This happened on Tuesday and she's been blowing up my phone ever since, but I haven't answered any calls or texts and I just blocked her. This led to her friend coming to my house and telling me to at least hear my girlfriend out, but I told her to F off and leave me alone, which made her tell me that I'm more in love with the car than my girlfriend. So am I the a-hole in this situation? Should I talk to my girlfriend? I already feel like I can't trust her after what happened and that our relationship can't be fixed. Oh no, you can't mess with somebody when they're driving. And also, I feel like the friend needs to stay out of it. And also, to repeatedly do that when you've said not to, but definitely not when you're driving. And also, it's not about the fact that you like your car and your paint job. It's about the fact that you could have both died. Yeah, this comment, I'd say that you're more in love with being alive than your girlfriend. Not the a-hole, it's 10 months, not 10 years. Yeah, that's kinda wild. Tickled you to the point where you swerved off the road. Yeah, this comment too, not the a-hole, it's already a problem that your girlfriend continues doing something that you've told her to stop doing multiple times. Now she thinks it's appropriate to do it while you're driving, potentially putting you and the lives of others in danger. The friend needs to get out of here and mind her own business. It's not her relationship to get in the middle of. There is an update here. Update. So the past couple of hours have been insane. Before the actual update, I just wanted to sort some stuff out. I've seen people talking about this being rage bait or fake. Honestly, I wish it was, but I actually needed to hear some opinions on what happened. Some people talked about me having anger issues. This is not true. I never snapped at her like this for tickling me, let alone hitting her or anything like that. But in the rage of the moment, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I might consider myself to be a calm person, but that doesn't mean that I'll laugh and giggle during stupid stuff. The actual crash happened at a speed that could have killed us if I swerved in the wrong direction. I was driving on a country road and I could have frontally hit a car coming from the other direction, as the speed at which the crash happened was around 40 miles an hour or 65 k's an hour. The tickling part and the childhood trauma. I've mentioned that to my now ex-girlfriend around 3 months into our relationship, but as many pointed the obvious, I wasn't dating the sharpest tool in the shed, and it took me a while to realize it, so I guess I might be a bit dumb as well. I think I might have misused the term ghosting. In my head, telling her to get out of my house was already a clear sign of our relationship status. Now the actual update. After reading nearly all the comments, I took the decision to send my ex a message where I told her we should meet face to face. Some people suggested that I should file for a lawsuit, but my ex is still in uni and her parents can barely afford helping her. She obviously has done an insanely dumb stunt, but I don't want to punish her parents for it. The car is in the process of getting fixed and I can afford it without major financial issues. Still, I took screenshots of her messages in order for me to have some proof in case the situation escalates. So we met up earlier at the coffee shop. She looked as if she'd been crying for a long time, but it didn't change my mind at all. What shocked me was the fact that she leaned in for a kiss when she saw me, as if nothing happened. I stopped her and I told her that we need to have a serious conversation. I explained that what happened wasn't because of the car itself, but because of her disrespecting my boundaries and not thinking for a second what might happen when she did that. Besides that, I also felt disrespected by the fact that her friend also came knocking at my door to demand stuff, despite not having any rights to do so, which led me to ask my ex if she told her best friend the truth, or if she lied about the situation. She said that she only told her friend that we had a small car crash and that I'm pissed at her. Hearing that made me feel disappointed as hell, but I did my best to remain calm. I told her to tell the real story to her friends and family, and she raised her voice and told me that I'm accusing her of being a liar, something that led to a 15-minute discussion about how the crash was solely her fault and how she put our lives at risk. I asked her if everything was clear to her about our situation, and her response was, "Yep, 100%. Can we go home now?" That honestly shocked me. I told her that there's no way that we can be back together, and I told her that she should be more careful and considerate with her future partner. Her reaction was all tears, shaking, and begging me to reconsider, but I just can't look at her the same. I explained again that for me, it wasn't a small mistake that she made. It was a full-on stupid decision that shouldn't be done by an adult, as it could have resulted in something deadly. She just thinks I'm exaggerating, and that this back and forth argument led to her asking if there's somebody else in my life, and if I'm just using the accident as an excuse. I denied it, and I told her that she's too selfish to even realize that she broke my trust and disrespects me by saying this crap. I left the coffee shop feeling like I've been talking to a wall, but at least I can't say that I didn't try to have a conversation. An hour ago, her mum texted me asking what happened, and I told her everything. I said that I don't want want any money from them, but the only thing I'm asking for is that my ex keeps her distance from me. She was apologizing for what her daughter did and wished me all the best. As for her friend, from my understanding, she came to my house without talking to my ex on whether she should or not. So I guess she just tried to be the main character in the whole story. Right now I'm getting ready for work, but my chest isn't heavy anymore. In case anything will happen in the future, I'll keep everybody updated, but I hope it won't be the case. Thank you for helping me navigate this weird situation, and thank you for all the kind messages. I hope everybody stays safe. Edit, I'm sorry if this wasn't the drama-filled update that some people might have expected, but I came here with the desire to get some perspective on my situation and be as transparent as possible. I never intended to post this story for upvotes or anything like that. Wow, that's so unbelievable. I feel like you handled this super well, OP. What a wild situation. Yeah, you don't mess with somebody while they're driving. And yeah, the repeated disregard of your boundaries, OP. That's so bad, and that's enough for today. We need something wholesome. Hey friend, pause, drink some water, take some deep breaths, and tell yourself it'll be okay. You're doing great. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you. Yeah, 100%. That art style is so cute. All the buildings in the background too. But yeah, you're doing great, guys, and don't forget it. Men are competitive beings, as proven by my favorite pastime. When somebody says I can't do something because I'm not physically capable of doing it, I give it my all just because they said that I couldn't. Oh, come on, you can't live your best life and love yourself. I mean, look at you. You're clearly not able. Hold my beer and look. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah, you totally can't live a great life and love yourself. Just kidding, you absolutely can. So cute. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time today. And if you did, make sure you let me know down below, and also like and subscribe. And the comment of the day today goes to Joe. Hey Vincey, I'm indeed having a good day. Thank you for asking. Cuddling with my cat. Oh, that's so awesome. I'm glad you're having a good day. Anytime you're surrounded by cats, it's going to be a good day. And thank you for the support. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. And I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure you look after yourself, and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!